Hi guys, and welcome to episode 3 of SJ Cooks. Today I'm going to show you 3 simple pastas that you can make at home every day. The first is going to be a pasta with egg in it. The second will be an eggless pasta, and the third is going to be a potato gnocchi. So what you're going to need is 200 grams of 00 flour. This means that your flour is as fine as it can be. Tip your flour out onto your table and make a little well. The well is important because it's going to hold your eggs inside. In my pestle and mortar, I've cracked my eggs, and as a secret little ingredient, I've added some crushed saffron into it. This is going to give my pasta an awesome yellow color. So pop your eggs into the center of your flour. Give it a crack of salt, a little squeeze of olive oil, or a teaspoon, and we're gonna start whisking. So this is breaking up the egg yolks and slowly incorporating the flour from the sides into the egg yolk. For our eggless pasta, we're only going to be needing 2 ingredients. The first is our 00 flour, and the second is just some filtered water. I've used 200 grams of 00 flour here, and then just a splash of water. You don't need too much water, but for the consistency of your dough, you're going to have to eyeball that, because you may need to add a little bit extra water or a little bit of flour depending on what you are left with. Alright, so these are our 2 separate pasta doughs. This one has no eggs in it, and this one has the eggs and the saffron in it. Now, it is important to add a little bit more water to your pasta if it isn't combining properly. This will make the dough a lot softer and a little bit easier to manipulate. Now I'm going to split each dough into 2 balls, because this is going to make it easier for me to roll it out. And into my egg-free pasta, I'm going to add a little bit of freshly chopped basil, because in the next episode, I'm going to show you how to make a pantry tomato sauce. So I've added my fresh basil into my egg-free pasta, and that's kind of what it looks like. It's really pretty with little speckles of green. And I'm gonna roll it out into a sausage so that I can roll a pasta sheet with the rolling pin. And you're gonna wanna start from the end and roll it out nice and flat. The nice thing about this pasta is that you really don't need a pasta machine. I don't have one, and it doesn't impair me in any way when making fresh homemade pasta. And quite honestly, there's nothing really better than a good bowl of fresh homemade pasta. Now in between, remember to just carry on flouring your rolling pin so that it doesn't stick to your pasta sheet. Once you have rolled your pasta out, you're going to take flour and put it on each side. And then you're going to roll your pasta up as if it were a Swiss roll. And you're going to roll the whole pasta up until it looks like that. It's really important to have flour on both sides, because what the flour is going to do is stop the pasta from sticking together. And you're going to take your knife and you're just going to cut about 1 centimeter apart of each slice. And that's kind of what it looks like, and then all you have to do is pull it apart and you've got your piece of pasta. So you're going to do that with all of your pieces of pasta, and either dust them with a bit of extra flour and pop them off to the side, or get a broom and hang your pieces of pasta over the broom, because most of you, I'm sure, will not have a pasta drying rack like me. For our third and final pasta, I will be showing you how to make the almighty gnocchi. So I have boiled my potatoes for 10 to 15 minutes, just until they're soft, and then let them cool. You're going to want to have it so that the skin literally just peels off the potato really, really easily, and it almost breaks apart in your hands. Once your potatoes are peeled, preferably get a potato ricer. You can, however, use a fork just to break up the potatoes, but don't squish the potatoes too much. You want your gnocchi to be really light and fluffy and airy, and most chefs will describe it as pillow-like when it goes into your mouth. So open up your potato ricer, get your first potato in, squeeze it out. Once you have put your potatoes through the ricer, you are going to be left with this really light and fluffy mixture. To this, I'm going to add a couple cracks of pepper and a bit of salt. Then I'm going to take 1 egg, and I'm only going to use the yolk from this egg. So crack it into a bowl, scoop up your yolk, and pop it into the middle. And now I'm gently going to combine these together. But remember, light and fluffy pillows. You don't want to press your gnocchi down. You don't want to press this mixture down. And my egg yolk has melted into my potatoes. And so I'm going to add about 100 grams of flour. And again, start combining, remembering to not press down too heavily, because we want to keep these light and fluffy. Once you have kneaded your gnocchi mixture all together, separate it into about 5 or 6 different pieces of dough. Then you're going to want to roll it out, take your knife, and chop your roll into about 2 to 3 centimeter pieces of gnocchi. Now I like to use a little bit of rice flour to sprinkle over my gnocchi, because what this does is it absorbs any extra moisture from the potatoes. Now for me, these little pillows are perfect, but if you like your gnocchi to look like the store-bought kind, simply take your fork and press on top of each piece of gnocchi, and you will get a fork pattern. Otherwise, you can take your fork, then take your gnocchi, roll it down, curl it over, and you will get the lines on one side and a little dip on the other side. And there we go. We have the 3 different kinds of homemade pasta that you can make during this lockdown. The first, basil, no egg pasta. The second, saffron egg pasta. And the third, simple potato gnocchi. I am so excited to tuck in, I cannot tell you guys. Thank you for watching this episode, and tune in tomorrow for my sauces episode. Bye.